Okay, these water drops look complicated, but I promise you they're actually so easy to draw. And I'm going to show you exactly how I do them step by step. You don't need to be an experienced artist for this one, and throughout the video, I'll be sharing a bunch of little tips and hacks that you can use in your own drawings. So make sure you stick around till the end, and let's start with the easiest part. First of all, I'm going to tape the corners of my sketchbook using paper tape, which helps keep the edges of the drawing clean and gives us a neat border when we remove the tape at the end. For the next step, we are going to tone the paper. I'll be using sandpaper and willow charcoal sticks, but you can also use a graphite pencil or charcoal pencil. Now what we need to do is turn the graphite or charcoal into fine powder. I'm doing this by rubbing the charcoal against my sandpaper. There are different types of sandpaper and sanding tools, but I'm just using a regular one that I found at my local hardware store. Once we have our powder, we're going to sprinkle it onto the paper, then using a tissue, gently spread it around the paper with very light pressure and small circular motions. Okay, be careful not to press too hard because that can make the tone uneven and may also leave dark spots on the paper. But if you do get a dark spot, don't worry. Just gently lift some of the charcoal with an eraser and then blend over it again with your tissue. So basically, we want the paper to have a nice even gray tone, not too light and not too dark. If it looks too light, you can simply repeat the process until you are happy with it. Now let's start drawing. I'm going to use an H pencil to draw a circle. It doesn't have to be perfectly round because, well, it's a watch drop. Next, I'm taking an 8B pencil to add the darker areas. First, I will lightly outline the shape of the drop. Then I'll start adding the darks, making sure to move my pencil in a circular motion. I'm creating almost a crescent-shaped shadow along one side of the drop. I'll do something similar along the bottom of the circle. Now we're going to create a gradient. I'll gradually bring the darker area toward the center while using less and less pressure. The goal is for the dark area to softly fade into the gray tone of our paper. Keep your pencil movements light and circular so that the transition stays smooth. Okay, once I'm happy with that, I will use a blending stump to soften everything. If you don't have a blending stump, you can also use a cotton swab. Okay, now comes my favorite part, the highlights. I'm using a mono eraser to lift the graphite and create the bright areas of the water drop. If you don't have a mono eraser, you can use the edge of a regular eraser or cut a small piece of one to make it easier to control. After adding the highlights, I will blend the darker areas into the center again to make the transition even smoother. I'm also going to add a few tiny highlights in the darker area using my eraser. You can also use an electrical eraser or even a white gel pen for this. Finally, I will soften the dark area at the bottom so that it looks like the drop is sitting naturally on the surface rather than floating above it. And there we have our first water drop. Now let's try another one using a slightly different shape. I'll start the same way, but this time I'm using a charcoal pencil to create the darker areas and a little gradient. After that, I'm going to take my 8B graphite pencil and add another layer over the charcoal. Generally, it's easy to layer graphite over charcoal than to put charcoal over graphite. Now I will blend the darker areas and start adding the highlights with my mono eraser. For this one, I'm using an electric eraser to create strong highlights. Once I've created them, I can adjust their shape with my charcoal pencil. Honestly, I think I like this one more than the graphite version because of the stronger contrast between the highlights and the dark areas. Okay, let's quickly try another small drop. Alright, now that we understand the basic process, I'm going to draw the outlines of a few different water drops and fill them in later. I'll make some small, some big, some round, and some more irregular. Remember, water drops don't all have to look the same, so don't be afraid to experiment with different shapes. Okay, now if you don't have a charcoal, you can also use a black colored pencil to create the darker areas. We'll start with the same process using a graphite pencil. For this one, I'm also going to play around with the direction of the light. I'll add a highlight along the bottom. Okay? Once I'm done with the highlights, I'll take my black colored pencil and add some really deep darks to increase the contrast. And that's another way you can create a water drop without using charcoal pencil. By now, I think you've got the idea, so let's try drawing a few drops together and see how they look in different sizes. You can always experiment with different shapes, sizes, and highlight positions. Changing the placement of the highlights can make the light appear to come from different directions. And here's another little tip. If you accidentally get some gray dust on your highlights and you're worried that using a regular eraser might damage them, you can use a kneaded eraser to gently lift the excessive graphite or charcoal from the paper. You can also try drawing a water drop using only a charcoal pencil, but personally, I don't really like the sensation of blending charcoal with a blending stump. It's just so weird. Okay, I'm going to finish the rest of these off camera because my phone storage is not allowing me to record any further. And then I will show you the final result. So guys, this is the final look. Let me know in the comments how you feel about it. And if you have any questions or any drawing requests, let me know. I'd love to make another tutorial for you. And here's the best part, removing the tape. Look at those clean edges. I think this simple little trick makes the whole artwork look so much neater. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and hopefully learned something new. If you try drawing this water drop yourself, let me know how they turn out. Bye bye and lots of love.